At your lowest weight, usually around 18 months. So Tammy, I'm gonna let Dr. Smith's work.
Today we're diving into one of TLC's most talked about stories, the future of 1000 LB Sisters. For weeks, fans have been buzzing with rumors that the show was ending, that Amy and Tammy Slaton's story had finally reached its final chapter. But now one of the sisters herself has spoken, and what she revealed may surprise you. Yes, Tammy Slaton has finally broken her silence, setting the record straight about Season 8, the show's future, and her frustration with all the fake news spreading online. If you've been wondering whether 1002 LB Sisters is over or making a comeback, stay tuned because the truth is finally out. Act 1. The Rise of 1000 LB Sisters. When 1002 LB Sisters premiered in 2020, few could have predicted the emotional journey it would capture. The series followed Amy and Tammy Slaton, two sisters from Dixon, Kentucky. Its combined weight exceeded 1,000 pounds. From the start, viewers were drawn to their honesty and humor as they fought to reclaim their health and rebuild their lives. Amy's optimism contrasted with Tammy's pain and defiance, creating a story that was raw, real, and deeply human. Over time, fans watched Amy undergo bariatric surgery, become a mother, and rediscover confidence. Tammy faced medical emergencies, hospital stays, and near-death moments before turning her life around through rehab and sheer determination, eventually losing hundreds of pounds. By Season 7, both sisters had transformed dramatically. Their physical progress was obvious, but their emotional growth was just as striking, which left fans wondering, what's next? Act 2. Rumors of cancellation. As Season 7 wrapped, whispers began to spread. Many believed TLC might end this series now that both sisters had reached their biggest goals. The show had followed their journey from crisis to recovery, so maybe it was time for a final farewell. Then came the spark. Tammy started liking fan comments, asking whether the show was canceled. That tiny action ignited a wildfire online. Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and TikTok creators all jumped in. Was 1000 LB Sisters really finished? Had TLC decided to move on from the Slaton family? Act 3. Tammy breaks her silence after weeks of rumors. Tammy finally spoke up. In a Reddit thread shared by a fan named SoftBaby, someone asked her directly, "Did they cancel your show?" Tammy replied simply but firmly, "No, they haven't. We are working on Season 8. I don't understand why people keep posting fake news about us." Just like that, the speculation ended. 1000 LB Sisters wasn't canceled. Season 8 was already in progress. Fans flooded social media with excitement and relief. The Slaton story wasn't over after all. Act 4. What Tammy's words really mean. Tammy's statement revealed more than renewal. It showed resilience. After years of being misjudged and mocked online, she was finally taking control of her own narrative. Her journey has been extraordinary, from struggling to breathe in a hospital bed to walking confidently and living independently. After her massive weight loss and skin removal surgery, she's learning how to live in her new body and rediscover who she is. Amy is entering her own fresh start too. After her separation and 2 pregnancies, she's raising her sons while focusing on her health and personal growth. Both sisters are evolving and their stories still have chapters left to tell. Act 5. What to expect in Season 8. So what could Season 8 bring? We'll likely see more of Tammy's transformation, not just physically, but emotionally. How she maintains her progress, adapts to life after surgery, and handles fame will be major themes. Amy's storyline may center on life as a single mom, finding independence while balancing parenting, self-care, and possibly a new romance. The rest of the Slaton family, Chris Combs, Amanda Halterman, Misty, and Brittany, will no doubt return. Their humor, bickering, and loyalty give the show its heart. Yet that closeness often causes tension. Many fans say the siblings are too close for comfort, always involved in each other's lives. Season 8 might explore how they learn to support without smothering each other. Act 6. The family behind the fame. To understand why the Slatons are so bonded, you have to look at their roots. They grew up in a fractured home. Same mother, different fathers. Amy and Tammy share one dad. Chris and Amanda share another. Misty has her own. That complicated upbringing created distance early on, but also built resilience. As adults, they became each other's support system through poverty, grief, and public scrutiny. That closeness is what made 1 6 season stand out. It wasn't just a show about losing weight. It was about family and forgiveness. But it also shows how love can blur boundaries. Season 8 could explore those lines more deeply as each sibling tries to find independence. Act 7, the show's impact beyond the entertainment value. Unforgettable Sisters has had a huge emotional impact. Millions relate to Amy and Tammy's honesty about food addiction, self-esteem, and trauma. Their story helps spark conversations about obesity and mental health that TV often avoids. For many viewers, seeing the sisters struggle and keep going has been life-changing. Tammy's comment reminding fans not to believe fake news was also a reminder of what the show truly stands for: resilience, truth, and transformation. Act 8, the Season 7 finale, and what comes next. Season 7 ended with a reflective tone. The sisters revisited their childhood home, their high school, even the junkyard where they once weighed themselves. It symbolized closure, a moment to appreciate how far they'd come. Tammy celebrated her successful upper body skin removal surgery. Amy accepted a proposal from her boyfriend Brian Lover, marking a hopeful new chapter. Fans thought it might be the end, but Tammy's latest update proves there's more to come. Season 8 will likely pick up right where the finale left off, showing how the sisters navigate life after reaching their biggest goals. Maintaining weight loss, adjusting to fame, and finding long-term happiness will be the next challenges. Act 9, why the story still matters after 7 seasons. You might think the show has told every story possible. But 1000 Sisters has evolved beyond its title. It's no longer just about numbers on a scale. It's about identity, self-worth, and the cost of living publicly. The sisters' growth mirrors what so many viewers experience: falling, learning, and getting up again. Tammy's strength, Amy's warmth, Chris's humor, and Amanda's fierce loyalty have turned the Slatons into one of TLC's most beloved families. When Tammy said we are working on Season 8, she wasn't just confirming renewal, she was promising that their journey toward healing and self-discovery continues. Act 10, looking beyond Season 8. If TLC follows its pattern, Season 8 will mix heartfelt moments with plenty of laughter and conflict. Expect to see Tammy adjusting to confidence in her new life, Amy exploring independence, and the family redefining their bonds. There might also be new faces, extended relatives, or friends, helping the sisters navigate this next chapter. Tammy has hinted she hopes to travel and meet fans, something she couldn't do before. For TLC, it's an opportunity to showcase not just transformation, but resilience and joy. Proof that life after change is still full of challenges worth watching. Conclusion: reality weighs in closing segment. At the end of the day, Tammy's message clears the air once and for all. 1000 Sisters is not canceled. Season 8 is coming, and the Slaton family's story is far from over. This new phase won't just be about losing weight, it'll be about living fully, building confidence, and creating a future beyond the struggle. Tammy said it best: we are working on Season 8. Stop believing fake news. So while the internet keeps guessing, Amy and Tammy are busy writing their next chapter. One filled with growth, laughter, and maybe a few surprises. Here at Reality Weighs In, we'll keep you posted on every update, from production news to exclusive behind-the-scenes insights. So, what do you think? Should 1000 Sisters continue beyond Season 8? Or is it time for TLC to close the book? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss the truth behind your favorite reality shows. Because here on Reality Weighs In, we uncover what's really happening.
This ship and to land in a foreign country where they don't know anybody, and it's kind of like us.
It's been a long, emotional journey for the Slaton family, one filled with heartbreak, determination, and transformation, so powerful that it's left fans around the world in awe. Season 7 of 1000 Sisters didn't just feel like another chapter in their story. It felt like the end of one era and the beginning of another. As the final episode aired, viewers couldn't help but feel that mix of nostalgia and pride that only comes from watching people you've grown with finally find their strength. The season finale captured the Slaton family like we've never seen them before. Together, they took a trip down memory lane, retracing the roots of their story, revisiting the places that shaped their lives and their fame. They returned to their old high school, laughing and reminiscing about their teenage years. They visited the small duplex where Amy and Tammy began their YouTube journey. It's the same videos that started it all and eventually led to the TLC series that would change everything. But the most emotional stop came when the family returned to the junkyard, a place filled with memories, both painful and powerful. Years ago, this was where they had to go just to weigh themselves. Regular scales couldn't support their weight back then, so they relied on an industrial scale, one that defined their identity as the 1000 Del B sisters. Standing there again after all these years, the family was quiet. The moment felt heavy with meaning. Amy looked around, took a deep breath, and said softly, "This is a memory I want buried in the past." In that instant, the show flashed back, Tammy standing on that massive scale years ago, weighing 605 pounds, and Amy at 406, together over 1,000 pounds. It was a haunting reminder of where they began and how far they've come. Now, years later, the Slaton siblings stepped up on the scale again, but this time it wasn't about fear or shame. It was about pride. Tammy smiled, looked at her family, and said, "We're not the 1000 Del B sisters anymore." Amy stepped on first, minus 249 pounds, a number she once believed she'd never reach. Then Tammy stepped up, minus 215 pounds. For a woman who had once been near death, relying on oxygen, wheelchairs, and constant medical care, that number meant freedom. Together, they'd shed nearly 800 pounds, and with that, a lifetime of pain. It was a powerful, almost symbolic moment, one that made fans everywhere realize that maybe it's time for a new title. Because this isn't just Amy and Tammy's story anymore. It's the story of their entire family. Chris Combs, Misty Wentworth, and Amanda Halterman have all become major parts of the show. And their journeys have touched fans just as deeply. So, when word started spreading online that TLC might rebrand the show as the 1000 Del B family, it suddenly made perfect sense. On Reddit, fans began connecting the dots after the finale aired. One comment read, "I was wondering where those reports were coming from." Another wrote, "They wouldn't cancel it now. It makes sense to rename it the 1000 LB family. It's about all of them now." Someone else added, "It hasn't really been just Amy and Tammy's show for a long time." And honestly, they're right. This show has evolved from a story of two sisters trying to survive to a full portrait of a family learning to thrive. Each sibling has faced their own struggles, and together, they've grown stronger than ever. Tammy's transformation, though, remains the heart of it all. A story of resilience that still inspires millions. During season 7, Tammy revealed that she had officially lost over 500 pounds. The weight loss finally made her eligible for a long-awaited skin removal surgery. Doctors removed the excess skin from her arms, stomach, neck, and chin. And when she saw herself afterward, she broke down in tears. Her family standing by her side could barely believe it either. This was the same woman who just a few years earlier was told she might not live to see her next birthday. Now she was standing tall, proud, and smiling. A living reminder that change, no matter how impossible it seems, is always possible. Fans online noticed everything. TikTok lit up with comments and videos celebrating her progress. One viewer pointed out how Tammy was now holding a set of car keys, hinting that she might be driving again. For a woman who was once confined to a wheelchair, that simple act represented something far bigger than independence. It symbolized freedom. But it's not just Tammy's appearance that's changed, it's her entire energy. She laughs more freely now. She's open, calm, and more in tune with her emotions. Gone is the bitterness that once weighed her down. One fan summed it up perfectly. She's a completely different person. Her growth is incredible. And Tammy agrees. In an interview, she reflected on why she and Amy have chosen to share their story so publicly. Despite all the judgment and online cruelty they've faced, by sharing our stories, Tammy said, we're showing others that they can do it too. They're not alone. That connection with fans has become one of the most powerful parts of the show. Over the years, millions have watched Tammy fight, fall, and rise again. In July, she posted a TikTok montage filled with old and new photos, her darkest moments alongside her proudest ones. With a caption that said, "So much has changed about me. I'm so grateful for my girlfriend, my family, and my fans, my besties. Thank you for keeping me going." It was a heartfelt message that revealed how much she values her supporters. But it also showed something deeper, a woman learning to express gratitude, not shame. Still, Tammy's journey isn't over. Because while her physical transformation is miraculous, the emotional healing is still ongoing. Season 7 gave us glimpses of the mental battles she still faces: anxiety, depression, trauma, and grief. Losing her husband, Caleb Willingham, left a hole in her heart that still hasn't fully healed. Though she doesn't talk about it much, fans know the pain is there. But instead of letting it destroy her, Tammy has chosen to let it motivate her. Every day, she honors Caleb's memory by continuing her fight for health, happiness, and inner peace. And that's something numbers can't measure. Tammy once believed her weight was what held her back, that if she just lost the pounds, she'd finally be happy. But as she's learned, true healing takes much more. Even now, she's still learning to rebuild her confidence, to trust herself, and to believe she deserves love and joy. As one therapist once said, you can lose the weight, but not the memories. Tammy is still walking through that truth. Sometimes she's open and emotional. Other times she shuts down when things get too heavy. It's not weakness, it's part of the process. And through it all, her family has stayed by her side. Amy, Chris, Amanda, and Misty have been her biggest support system, even when their tough love caused arguments or tears. That's the heart of their story. Real people, real struggles, and real love. The Slatons have faced their share of heartbreak, but they've also discovered strength they never knew they had. And fans see that. They see a family that refuses to give up, no matter how hard things get. That's why the name 1000LB family feels so fitting. Because this is no longer just about two sisters battling obesity. It's about an entire family's evolution, physically, mentally, and emotionally. As Season 8 approaches, speculation continues to swirl online. Will TLC officially rename the show? Will we see new chapters from each sibling? Based on everything we've seen, the answer seems clear. The story isn't ending. It's just changing. From the junkyard scale to the operating room, from hospital beds to car keys. From tears of pain to tears of joy, the Slatons' journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. And for viewers around the world, it's never just been about the drama or the numbers. It's about the heart behind it all, the courage it takes to face your demons and start over. Tammy's still healing, Amy's still growing, and their family is stronger than ever. And as they step into this new chapter, one thing's certain. They've proven that no matter how heavy life once felt, there's always a way to rise again. This isn't just reality TV anymore. This is real life, messy, inspiring, and beautiful. The Slatons have come full circle. They've gone from weighing themselves on industrial scales to walking into a future defined by freedom, family, and self-love. And whatever happens next, one thing is for sure, fans will be right there with them, cheering them on every step of the way. Because this story, the 1000LB family, is about so much more than weight loss. It's about hope, resilience, and the power of never giving up. And here at Reality Weighs In, we'll be following every twist, every triumph, and every emotional moment as the Slaton family continues to rewrite their legacy, one courageous step at a time.
Months ago. Your prealbumin now is in the high 17s. It's almost 18.
Tammy Slaton's journey has been one of the most remarkable transformations reality TV has ever shown. What started as a desperate fight for survival has slowly become a story of strength, redemption, and rediscovery. As the cameras followed her through her struggles on 1000LB Sisters. No one could have imagined just how far she would go and how deeply she would change both inside and out. When season 7 began, many viewers didn't know what to expect from Tammy. After years of setbacks, failed attempts, and heartbreaking moments, it finally felt like she had reached a turning point. And then, near the end of the season, she did something truly life-changing. Tammy went through an extensive series of skin removal surgeries, procedures that took excess skin from her arms, stomach, neck, and chin. For years, that extra skin had been a constant reminder of her past struggles. But after her doctor cleared her for the procedure, Tammy emerged looking and feeling like an entirely different person. Her transformation stunned everyone. Her family, who had walked with her through every challenge, could hardly recognize the woman standing before them. The tears, the laughter, the disbelief. It was a powerful moment that captured what true perseverance can look like. Fans around the world were equally emotional, flooding social media with messages of pride and encouragement. Tammy wasn't just losing weight, she was reclaiming her life. Even after the cameras stopped rolling, Tammy didn't stop working on herself. Fans noticed something different about her energy. She seemed freer, lighter, and more at peace. Her latest TikTok posts showed her smiling, glowing, and full of confidence. In one clip, a sharp-eyed fan even noticed something surprising. Tammy was holding a set of car keys. It might seem like a small thing, but for someone who once struggled just to breathe on her own, being able to drive symbolized independence, freedom, and control over her life again. Tammy has become a completely different person, not just physically, but emotionally. She's more patient, more open, and more understanding. Her family members have said she's softer now, kinder, like she's finally letting herself breathe after years of being trapped inside her own pain. One fan on Reddit wrote, "Atta girl, Tammy, you're proof that no one is beyond saving." That comment resonated deeply with many. Because Tammy's story is about more than just numbers on a scale. It's about courage. It's about refusing to give up, even when the world doubts you. In an interview with People magazine, both Tammy and Amy talked about why they decided to share their lives so openly with the world. Despite knowing it would invite judgment, Tammy said, "By sharing our stories, we're empowering others. We're letting people know they're not alone. If we can do it, they can too." That honesty, that vulnerability, it's what made fans connect so deeply to her story. And Tammy knows the impact she's had. In a heartfelt TikTok she posted in July, Tammy shared a montage of her photos over the years, showing her evolution from her heaviest days to the strong, radiant woman she's become. Her caption read, "So much has changed about me over the years. I'm so grateful for the love and support from my girlfriend, my family, and my fans, my besties. This is my way of saying thank you for keeping me going." That simple message said it all. Tammy Slaton is no longer defined by her past. She's defined by her fight, her faith, and her newfound confidence. But as inspiring as her transformation is, Tammy's story isn't over, and not every battle she faces can be seen. While she's shed hundreds of pounds, she's still carrying emotional weight that may take even longer to heal. Throughout 1000 LB Sisters, viewers have watched Tammy battle not just her size, but her mind. Behind her sarcasm, her temper, and her walls, there's always been pain deep. Complicated pain rooted in years of trauma, loneliness, and self-doubt. As season 7 progressed, it became clear that Tammy had made enormous progress physically. But emotionally, some wounds remained untouched. After her husband Caleb Willingham passed away, Tammy went through an unimaginable emotional loss. She tried to stay strong publicly, but grief has a way of finding its cracks. Viewers noticed that sometimes her old patterns would resurface, moments of frustration, defensiveness, or avoidance. And while it's easy to celebrate her weight loss, it's important to remember that real healing goes beyond the body. Tammy has admitted that talking about her past is painful. For years, she bottled up her emotions, convincing herself that losing weight would fix everything. But as many fans have seen, transformation isn't just physical, it's mental too. She's opened up about her therapy sessions. Though some fans have pointed out that the show's therapists don't always seem to reach her on a deeper level, It's clear Tammy still struggles to fully confront her inner demons. In many ways, Tammy has been her own biggest obstacle. Her weight once held her back from living, from traveling, from expressing herself, from feeling joy. But even now, when those barriers are gone, she sometimes holds herself back emotionally. It's as if she's afraid to believe she truly deserves happiness after everything she's been through. And that's the challenge Tammy faces now. She's done the hard work, the diets, the surgeries, the exercise, the discipline. But now comes the hardest work of all, facing herself. Because if she doesn't take care of her mental health, all her progress could unravel. Still, there's reason for hope. Tammy's self-awareness is growing, and that's the first step toward change. She knows she's not perfect, and she's not pretending to be. She's learning one day at a time that true health means balance, body, mind, and heart. Losing the weight was an incredible achievement, one that took years of effort and unimaginable courage. But maintaining it and staying mentally strong will be a lifelong journey. Tammy's still finding her way, still discovering who she is outside of the identity that defined her for so long. Some fans have voiced concern that she's still focusing too much on the numbers, obsessing over the scale when she should be focusing on self-acceptance. They've noticed moments where her old fears creep back in. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of losing everything she's gained. But fans also know that Tammy is resilient. She's proven time and again that even when she falls, she gets back up stronger than before. As 1000 Delby Sisters continues, it's becoming clear that Tammy's next chapter won't be about physical transformation anymore. The surgeries, the weight loss, the recovery, that part of her story has been told. What comes next is far more personal: emotional healing, mental growth, and rediscovering what makes her truly happy. Because when the cameras stop rolling, when the applause fades, and when the numbers on the scale no longer matter, what's left is the woman inside. And that woman is learning to love herself for who she is, not for what she weighs. Tammy has inspired millions, but she's also reminded the world that transformation is never a straight line. There are highs and lows, triumphs and relapses, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. But that's life, and Tammy is living it in real time, showing every scar and every smile along the way. Her journey is far from over. In fact, in many ways, it's just beginning. As Tammy embraces her new life, one filled with freedom, love, and possibility, she's also learning to forgive herself, to let go of the shame and guilt that once held her hostage. Her story has already touched countless lives, reminding people that no matter how broken you feel, you can always rebuild. That no matter how long it takes, it's never too late to start again. Tammy Slaton is proof that strength isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up every day, even when it hurts. It's about believing you can change even when no one else does. And as she continues to share her truth, she's helping others find theirs. Because when Tammy looks in the mirror now, she doesn't just see a woman who lost hundreds of pounds. She sees a survivor, a fighter, a woman who refused to give up on herself. And that, more than anything, is what makes her story so powerful. From Reality Weighs In, this has been Tammy Slaton's journey. Not just a story of weight loss, but a story of rebirth, resilience, and redemption. Because at the end of the day, her greatest transformation isn't measured in pounds. It's measured